So, I might not be that great of a game developer. I might not even be that great of a software developer. I can't really tell. That could be my imposter syndrome, though. But I really just love making games. It's just something about it is always seeming to be calling to me in the back of my head. Whatever I'm doing, it's how can I make this aspect better? Can I make this better? How can I make this better? And it just seems that that's all I'm sort of thinking about in the background of whatever else I'm doing. But I never do anything with it. I never release any games. I never show it off. I've tried to, but this channel only has a few views or a few videos on it, right? I'm trying to, but I just can't seem to get there. So does that make me a bad designer? I don't think so. I hope not. I think it just makes me human and a lot of burnout since I am working full time as an XR Unity developer. I've been working for my company for 2 years now, making XR applications. Um, and even before I got hired for my latest job, I was been working on my own projects in Unity way back even to when I was in college, right? So I have tons of Unity experience and working on these sort of small prototype games and some larger ones with my company. But personally, even with all of that experience, I still haven't been able to release a game by myself. And that sort of cycle that I've been getting into recently of getting a great idea and starting on it and working for like 3 or 4 weeks, putting in crazy hours and then dropping it completely and forgetting about it. It's really sort of disheartening, right? You have all these prototypes and all these great ideas, but they never go anywhere. And so you sort of feel unaccomplished. And I feel like a lot of us hobbyist developers out there sort of get that same mentality and that same sort of flow in their life, and then they just kind of fall out of the solo dev hobbyist solo dev community, right? Um, but this video is talking directly to that cycle and how I'm working to stop it, and sort of what I've learned on how to actually make a game. So the big thing that spiked this video is this book called The Art of Game Design, a Book of Lenses by Jesse Schell. If you don't know, Jesse Schell is the CEO of Schell Games, and it's a huge gaming company. They're responsible for older titles like Toontown Online, and they've done a lot of VR stuff lately. They've done the Try Not to Die or How Not to Die, or whatever that title is. And so he's done a lot of work and a lot of experience and has a lot of great insights in this book talking about how he's sort of gone about game design. And I'm going to reference this book a lot. I think it's really great. But this is still going to be my experience on how to how to actually make a game. What does it actually take? And so my very cryptic answer to that question is the people behind it. No, this is not a video in response to AI. I promise you. But I really do think that just people are the main driving force, the most important thing when it comes to making games. And here's why. So why people? Believe it or not, this video is not in response to AI, like I said before. This video is actually in response to a trend I saw here on YouTube a while ago at this point, where these developed solo devs, hobbyist devs that came out and started working on their projects and making YouTube videos on it, sort of realized how difficult it was and sort of, I think they were trying to warn people how difficult it is, but the tone in some of their videos kind of came off a little harsher than I think they intended it to be. And it came off as more of a don't try because you're going to fail rather than a try, 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 try. You're going to fail, but keep pushing through it. Um, and they have a point. They have a really great point. I mean, you got to think about all the roles that you have to fill as a solo dev. You got programming, 2D art, 3D art, you got sound, you've got voice lines. If you do that, you've got marketing, you've got decision making, problem solving. Like you got all of these skills um, that it takes, and it's really difficult. The good thing is that a lot of these skills, most of which I didn't mention, are skills that you can only get by doing this sort of thing, making games. Decision making, problem solving being the prime two. You're going to learn how to make better decisions faster, and you're going to learn how to solve problems faster, right? And as you get the other skills, the art, the programming, all of that, it sort of makes those two skills even easier, and they kind of feed off each other. And at the end of the day, you get better and better and better a lot quicker. But I still don't think that those are what it takes to make a game. Obviously, we have things like board games, and we have the imagination games that children make. So it doesn't actually take any of that to make a game. So that's why I said it's people that act is what it takes to actually make a game. One of the biggest driving factors in that answer is that in his book, Jesse Shell states very early on that when you're trying to make a game, you're not trying to make a game. You're trying to deliver an experience for the player. Uh, only you can experience the exact same experience that you did. Your reality is different to everybody else's reality. And so only you can design the game that gives the intended experience to the player. It's kind of a difficult topic to kind of wrap your head around, but to try and ease that misunderstanding or confusion, in reference to my latest project, which I'm calling Backyard Brawl, um, it is a base defense game where a child is trying to defend their home from the invading pests from outside. And if I were to just try to make the game, sure, you have base defense elements, you got towers, you've got, defenses, towers, attacking, you got support buildings, maybe a healing tower, stuff like that. And then you've got the enemies, and they just sort of attack you and try and destroy your central base or whatever it is. And that's great. I mean, those games do fine. Um, but there's nothing to that. That the scene of that game could be whatever. It could be sci-fi with destroying the bugs, or it could be, I don't know, you toy soldiers that are defending against other toy soldiers, right? You could do whatever you want with that sort of idea. I mean, there's plenty of games out there like it. But what makes my game special is the experience that I want the player to have. My experience is I want the player to be part of the child's imagination. They could do whatever they want. They can create whatever towers from whatever, little bits and bobs they find around the house. And that these bugs, these pests that he's trying to defend his house from are bigger than life. And they're like, these really big threats that his imagination is throwing completely out of proportion compared to what they actually are. And that is what I think is going to separate my game of a simple base defense game from the rest. It's got that little extra experience that the player is going to have that's really going to draw them in. So, why are the people important? Like I said, only people can have an experience, and so only people can make an experience for other people. But it's very difficult to do that. It is a very difficult process. And as the famous Anton Ego once said, not everyone can become a great artist, but a great artist can come from anywhere, right? It's kind of a strange perspective on the game industry on all these roles because you have got programmers, artists, animators, sound designers, motion capture actors, voice artists, decision makers, managers, all that stuff. And if you're a solo dev, you got to do all of those roles. But if you really just want to make games, you don't need to do all those roles. You can fill one. You can be the artist for programming. You can be that artist for animators or programming, whatever it is. You can do any of those and you'll be able to contribute to a game. You don't have to do all of them. So if you're not great at programming or you're not great at maths, so what? There's tons of other stuff you could be doing to contributing to a game. And if you want to be by yourself and a solo dev, then some of these are less important than the others. And it's going to be difficult to learn those harder skills. I understand. But if you want to do it, a great programmer can come from anywhere. It might just be you. So give it a try. Like I said before, this video is not in response to AI, but with the current situation of the world, I feel compelled that I have to include at least a little section of it in this video. This graph right here, this is called the Gartner Hype Graph. It was first used by a Gartner analyst, Jackie Fenn, in 1995. This graph shows the amount of hype, essentially, that goes around a new emerging technology. As we could sort of expect, AI is right here at the very top of the graph, just about to dip down. This graph, in combination with a bunch of studies and articles coming out about AI usage in companies, is my reason for believing that AI is not going to destroy games, software development, or just the job market as a whole. It is simply not at the level that these CEOs, top execs, and tech bros really want it to be in order to make that profit. In a few years, I could be wrong, but I don't think AI is going to be nearly as big of a topic or an issue or anything as it is now, and hopefully we'll see some sort of change in the near future. Enough talk about AI. That's not the point of this video. The point is, what does it actually take to make a game? And making a game is hard, especially when you're by yourself. There is no how to do this. There's no textbook. There's nothing that you can just go online and see how to make a game. Even Jesse Shell's book, which is 460 some pages. He even says this is not a textbook on how to make a game. It's some guidelines. It's insights onto his 20 years of experience at this point. Even though the book is older, it was made to be for the future. And so there's nothing in there that says this is how you do it, because technology is always changing. Art is always changing. Everything is always changing, and there's no one way to do it because it relies so heavily on the person's or the player's experience. Only you can give that experience that you want to the players. That's why it's so important that the people, the developers, are the ones that are the biggest contributing factor to the game. Only you have the experiences required to make the game and deliver the correct experience to the player. So try new things, try stuff out, learn new skills, talk to people, join communities, right? That's what you're going to do. That's what you have to do. And that's because you love it, right? If you don't love it, then I have to agree with those videos from a year ago, whatever it was, talking to not do it. If you don't love it, if you feel like you don't love this, don't do it. But if you do everything you can to get there. Try everything you can to make the best game possible and the best experience for the player. And never forget that what it really takes to make a game are the people behind it. For only people can make games